This is the Great North Wrestling Podcast, the official podcast of the Hannibal TV, Canada's #1 pro wrestling YouTube channel, with your host, three-time Canadian champion and GNW lead reporter, Devin Hannibal Nicholson.
This is Hannibal from thehannibaltv.com, and on the line right now I have WWE Hall of Famer and former WWE Tag Team Champion, actually the first black WWE Tag Team Champion, Mr. USA Tony Atlas, who's going to be wrestling for Great North Wrestling Friday night, May 25th in Pembroke, Ontario. How are you doing today, Tony?
How you doing, big brother? I'm doing absolutely wonderful. It feels good to be on the Hannibal show.
I hope the weather's better there in Maine for you than it is up here in the area of Ottawa, Canada right now, because it's still snowing here today.
Well, what my mom taught me is never complain about the weather. She said, enjoy today, for tomorrow is promised to no one.
Well, that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, because it don't matter if it's snowing, raining, or sunshine. If you hear it to see it, be happy. I have a lot of friends. The gentleman that inducted me in the WWE Hall of Fame, especially the delivery SD Jones, he's no longer here to see the weather. Andre the Giant, very good friend of mine, he won't see it. And my Legend House companion, who was the peacemaker and the leader of WWE Legend House that aired on WWE Network back in 2014, Ronnie Piper, is no longer here. And then I just hear recently a good friend of mine at 71 years of age, Johnny Valiant, was killed in a car accident, a hit and run.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's too bad. Do you have any memory about Johnny Valiant? Any favorite
Johnny Valiant? I remember one time I was telling jokes, and none of the boys was laughing. And Johnny Valiant said, "I don't know why they wouldn't laugh." He said, "I thought all that was funny." He always wanted to be one of the nicest guys, and he was a tremendous wrestler too. You know. Along with, the Valiant brothers, they was one of the first WWF, tag team champions, superstars, and he made a living in this business for over 50 years. So he kind of laid the groundwork, and him and the Valiant brothers, they are laid the groundwork for a lot of tag teams that is that we see today. So the wrestling world gonna really miss him. He was a gentleman. He loved making the events. He still loved making the shows and seeing his friends. He always had a smile on his face, and I don't think anybody could say anything bad about Johnny Valiant.
It's strange that in wrestling, he's
going to be missed. He's going to be missed.
And why is it you think that in wrestling, he was a heel, and it seems like some of the heel wrestlers were actually nicer people in real life than some of the baby faces?
Well, you see, when people like you, you can get away with anything. When people don't like you, you can't do no right. When they like you, you can't do no wrong. When they don't like you, see, they will excuse bad behavior. It's like if your child do something wrong in school, you would overlook it and you would protect your child from the teachers or any type of punishment that the school want to hang down to your child. But when another child do it, you be the first one to say that child need to be punished. And that's why the heels out in public, they mainly have to be nicer than the babyface because they're not liked anyway.
That's true.
See, one thing that I learned that the younger wrestlers do not know now, including the guys with very few guys other than Triple H or some of them are Undertaker or guys of Mark Henry, guys of that caliber, what they don't understand what we call ring psychology. You see, there's certain things that people like, and then there's certain things that just everybody dislikes. See, what started Black Lives Matter here in America, it was the fact, it wasn't so much on the police shooting the guys, it was how it was done. Like they had this one incident that happened New York, where the guy was selling the cigarette, he got choked to death, where that cop sluck up behind him. You see what I'm saying? The police were attacked him from behind. That's was the part that got people, because the guys, you know, and that works in the ring now, Hannibal. You know, if you're in the ring and the bad guys go to attack you, have you noticed that everybody that always try to warn you?
That's true. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Because we all dislike a backstabber.
Yeah.
And the same thing about telling a lie. You know, we rather for you to admit to your wrongdoing than to sit there and just bald-faced lie. So a heel in old day was a liar. He was a thief. He was a backstabber, and he was cowardly. People don't like a coward. You know, people that run from things. You know, it's just a certain psychology. And then when wrestlers portray these certain images on television, when they got out in the general public, you know, they didn't want to get into fist fights and lawsuits and all this stuff. So for a bad guy, he have to. In other words, to be a heel, you have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have very thick skin. But like a bad guy, if a good guy, he's in a bad move or something, and you tell somebody, you know, to get lost or to get out of their face something, they say, oh well, he's in a bad mood, but you know, I'm still his fan. You know, he's still a great guy. They will excuse his behavior. But when a heel tell you to get out of his face, well, he's a jerk anyway. I never like him. I sure hope that John Cena just beat the daylights out of him.
That's a very good point. And you just brought up Mark Henry's name. Were you at Mark Henry's Hall of Fame induction in New Orleans? Because I know you were.
No, but I did. I was lucky enough, me and Mark Henry, we did. I wasn't at his ceremony because I was on another event that called WrestleCon. Okay. So I was at the WrestleCon event that went on at the same time as that. But me and Mark Henry, we did got the chance to spend 2 days together with Big Time Wrestling about a week before his introduction.
Okay.
So it was great for us to to talk and to see each other and everything. So it worked out real good for us.
Do you think?
And me and Mark Henry, we keep up with each other anyway. He get mad at me if I don't call him at least once a month. He said, I want to hear from you at least once a month. And when a month go by and I don't call him, he call me and say, hey, what, you forgot about me? So me and him, luckily, we remained, we met each other for the first time back in 2008, and we've been close friends for the past, 12 years now?
How was your strength in the gym when you were training with him at the downward end of your career? Did you match up still pretty well with him in the gym strength-wise when you guys were partners?
Not when it come to pushing.
Okay.
With pulling, I could pull with Mark, but I couldn't push with him because Mark Henry, he starts off on the bench with 500, and he met me at the down end of my benching. So the most weight that Mark Henry saw me bench press was 405 pounds.
Right.
And he never saw me doing more than that. But I've seen Mark Henry do 550.
Okay, I see.
But see, the amazing thing about Mark Henry doing 550, he's not a power lifter. He's never benched before. Until he met me, he never started bench. He never did a bench press until 2008.
Right, because he was doing Olympic lifts, right?
Right, he's an Olympic lifter. Yeah, he do the clean and jerk and snatches and movements like that, and deadlifts and stuff like that, and squat. But he never did benches before until he met me. And I got him doing benches. And his first day to do benches, he did 495. His first day benches, first half.
Wow.
I put 5 plates on each end and Mark Henry pushed it up like nothing. But then when it comes to pushing like a building or trucks, it's no problem. Mark Henry was in Europe. They said that we couldn't get through the bus because they got narrow streets in Europe. They don't have the wide streets like they do in America. They got real narrow streets. So if the bus couldn't get by, then somebody on the bus said, Mark. And Mark Henry get up, walk off the bus, grab the back end of the car, set it up on the sidewalk, walk around to the front, pick up the front, set it on the sidewalk.
That's impressive.
I see Mark Henry push like a Greyhound bus, the bus we travel, it look like a Greyhound bus. I saw him push that uphill by himself. But what happened, when we go from like one part, like let's say we leave in Portugal and we're on our way to Germany, where Undertaker likes to have a shot. He has some whiskey and he gives everybody to celebrate, the tour before we go to the next country when we do the overseas stuff. So Undertaker called on it. So it was our last day in Europe, and we're getting ready to fly back to America to do Monday Night Raw. So Undertaker wanted to invite the bus driver. Well, the bus driver turned the bus off, but he forgot to turn the lights off. So he's back there laughing and joking, having a food and drinks with us. So we all get ready to go to the bus. The battery's dead. So the only way to get the bus started, you got to kickstart the bus. But all the arenas, if you go to the arena, it's all uphill.
Yeah.
Because the parking for these arenas is underground, so you got to go down a ramp to get to the basement, to get to the parking. But when you come out of the parking, you have to go uphill. So all the wrestlers got out and started pushing, and they pushed up a little bit, the bus rolled back. They pushed up a little bit, the bus rolled back. Mark Henry is sitting there watching them. Finally, he got frustrated. He said, y'all get out the way. So he put his back up against it first to get it started. Once he got that thing started, he flipped around real fast and started running with this bus.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I stood right in the ring and watch him take his bare hand and bend a frying pan. I saw him doing that.
Wow.
I saw him rip phone booths in half. I've seen Mark Henry I'll tell you something else I saw him do at 450 pounds.
What was that?
I saw him. We was at this gym one time, and back in the back they had these basketball courts. Mark Henry took the ball, dribbled, and slam dunked the ball.
That's something I wish you had on tape. That would be impressive to see.
I wish I had taped it too. If I knew how to use my cell phone like I do now, I would have filmed that. But he said that there are tapes of him doing it, but he was at a lighter weight when he did it. He was on like 300, but he said you could find that on air. He done it many times. A lot of us seen him doing that. And another thing about Mark Henry too, a lot of people don't know. He's very quick. He's a fast runner.
Okay,
he can't run a long distance long, but like in a 40-yard stretch, there's very few people can outrun Mark Henry in a 40-yard.
Interesting.
Like if you go 40 meters. Yeah, if you go 40 meters, Mark Henry give you trouble in 40 meters. Now 100 meters, you beat him because he got this he got a strange type of energy. He had these quick bursts, but once he had a quick burst, then he had to stop.
Right. So he could have played NFL, maybe.
He wrestled, right. They come from his days of weightlifting. The energy build up, but the energy burned out real fast with him. And you notice he wrestled the same way. He would have a quick burst and then he would stop. A quick burst and then he would stop.
Yeah.
But he'd been like that his whole life because of the type of sport he was in.
And I got to ask you, you said you were friends with Andre the Giant, which you also talked about in your shoot interview with us, which is now up for free on YouTube if anyone wants to search Tony Atlas shoot interview, the Hannibal TV. Did you see Andre's HBO documentary?
No, not yet. I've been traveling a great deal, so I haven't seen much lately. But Andre the Giant, if he likes you, he could be the best friend in the world. Not to say that he was racist, which he was, but he was a good friend of mine, Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. We was in Japan one time, and I lost my passport. I had my passport. I used to carry a wallet. Now if people see me, they notice I always carry a fanny pack. Jesse the Bodybuilder and Hulk Hogan got me to wear a fanny pack because I kept losing my wallet. So that's why I don't carry a wallet no more. And so I lost my wallet in Japan, so I had to go and get another passport. Well, anyway, I was getting on the bus one morning, and Andre was sitting in the back, just like 6 o'clock in the morning, and he's sitting in the back of the bus, drinking beer, sitting beside Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Andre said, "Hey, boss, come here, sit with Andre." So everybody get on the bus, and then Dick Murdoch get on the bus. As soon as Dick Murdoch get on the bus, Andre said, "Hey, Murdoch, I hear you lost your passport. Now we got 2 dumb niggas on the bus." So evidently what was happening, Murdoch was talking about me behind my back.
Yeah.
So Andre had to get him back. Because if he liked you, he won't let nobody mess with you.
Yeah.
Another time, way back, I wasn't with him at the time, but I remember when he used to get in people's cars, and every time he leaned back to get his feet in, he would break your seat. So the wrestlers, they wouldn't let Andre ride with him no more. So they told Andre he had to get his own car. Andre went and bought a Lincoln Town car with a sunroof.
So he could stick his head out.
He got these goggles, these big goggles that put on his face. And when he drove his car, he stick his head through the roof of the car. So he going down the road one day, him had stolen, and some guy saw it, and he thought it was a mannequin. You know, this because Andre had a huge head, so it didn't look like no human head. So when the guy got up beside Andre, he's looking at his head sticking out the roof of the car. So Andre turned to look at the guy. The guy got scared and let go of the steering wheel and hit the side of Andre's brand new car. Andre chased him down. The guy locked the door. Andre grabbed the car and flipped the car over, with the guy in it.
Wow.
Yeah. Another time I was in Norfolk, Virginia, and Blackjack Mulligan, I know Blackjack was one of them, Angela Mosca, I believe, was one of them. So about 4 big guys, they're going to throw Andre in the water. Andre didn't want to go in the water. So they're going to throw him in the water. Man, shoot. Andre threw them guys around. You know, Blackjack was a big guy.
Yeah, and he was known for being really tough, too, apparently, from what I heard.
Well, not with Andre, he was. Andre just threw him like he was a rag doll. Like a rag doll. And another thing people didn't realize about Andre, too, if he didn't like certain wrestlers, he would check the oil.
Really?
Now, what that means, what he would do, that he had big fingers. I mean, huge fingers. Andre would get you down on your stomach, and he would take his thumb, and as hard as he could, he would hit you in the rectum with it.
I couldn't even imagine how painful that would be.
Boy, I saw him do that to a guy one time. I said, I'm glad he likes me. But I said, I'm so glad he likes me. And I saw Andre in Japan chase Hogan out of the building. Don Morocco was watching the match with Don Morocco, and Morocco said, well, I guess Hogan's reign over here in Japan is over. He said, Hogan is not the man over here in Japan. And Andre chased him out of the building. He sent people back to the building, getting clothes. He was scared to come back to the building.
Yeah, because didn't he bully Hogan for a while in quite a few of their matches back when Hogan was a heel?
No, it was just something about them. It was something. Nobody really know what the true story that happened between them or something, but it was something that was about Hogan that Andre just didn't like. And I don't know what it was. You know, I never tried to get that much into the business because when Andre, I try to stay out of Andre's business. I just hung around him a lot because he liked me, you know. When he was around, I never had to pay for my meal. I come and sit there, boss, you come sit with me. I think he liked me because me and him was what we called the oddballs. I was the only black guy, and people used to make fun of me because I was black, and Andre was the only jank. And with me, I always tell Andre I got bigger arms than him.
Yeah.
I said, Andre, don't you wish your arms were as big as mine? He liked that.
Right, because you pick
the
on
only
him
thing Andre, well, he didn't like people to talk about his size. He didn't like that. A lot of people don't, because it makes him feel like the odd man out. He wanted to feel like one of the guys, you know?
Yeah.
So if you made Andre feel like one of the guys, but if you walk up to, damn, look how big your hands are. Oh, wow, you're so big. He would get away from it because now you're outcasting him to him.
What's the most you ever witnessed him?
Yeah, he always wanted to be a normal guy. If you treat him like a normal guy, and you know, the same thing with the midgets. They were the same way. I mean, if you started talking about how short they were, they didn't like that.
Okay.
Right, so it was just the opposite with Andre. Like a short person, don't want you telling them every day how short they are. They know they're short. Or a fat person don't want you telling them that they're fat.
That's true.
They know they're fat.
Yeah.
Well, giants are the same way. because people always looked at him like he was in a zoo or something. So he always feel like he didn't fit in. So when you made him fit in and just treat him like a normal person, he would treat you like gold. He felt like he could hang around you. He just want to be normal.
And I gotta ask you,
before he passed away, I remember he was telling Arnold Schwarzenegger passed now, so there's nobody to back up my word, but because the people that was there, they all gone now. SD is gone, Schwarzenegger's gone. I don't know if Rene Goulet is still alive, but he was one of the people who be around Andre a lot at friendship. He was so afraid that when he died, they didn't want to experiment on his body. So that's why he wanted to be cremated as soon as he died. That was his wish, to be cremated. He didn't want to be buried, but he figured they're going to dig him up and put him in the laboratory.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Because Andre was not like Big Show. See, Big Show is like a big man.
Yeah.
The Great Khali's like a big man. Andre was not like I'm not trying to badmouth him. He was not like a man. He had 60-some teeth in his mouth. But if you really look at it, he had very, very small teeth.
Yeah, it's almost like a dinosaur.
Yes. So they say that Andre was that missing link between, being a Neanderthal. Because if you look at his build, he was built like a giant dwarf.
That's true.
He had the same build as a midget. He was like a giant dwarf. If you look at the way he's built, he had this long torso, short legs, short arms, and a big head. If you take a picture of Andre and get a picture of Laurel Lillibrook and put them right beside each other, they got the exact same build. Andre's hands came to his waist. If you look at yourself, the average person's elbow come to their waist.
That's true.
Just look at picture of Andre and then think of a dwarf.
Yeah.
He looked just like Little Louis. He was built like Little Louis. Him and Hogswallow had the same physique as Hogswallow.
Now that you mention it, that's a very good point.
Nobody noticed that, but the scientists did. He was like a giant dwarf.
That's very interesting.
Now you look at Big Show. Big Show is built like a regular guy. His arms and is long, his legs is long. The Great Khali got long arms, long legs. Andre didn't.
Now, did you see any of WrestleMania this year, or?
No. I didn't watch none of it. No. I don't watch. I don't watch wrestling anymore. I watch it once in a while, but not too much anymore. Because what I do as a living, I got to get up so early in the morning. So I may sometimes catch the first hour of it, and then I end up falling asleep because I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I got to be at work at 5 because I work as a personal trainer. So I miss a lot of the Monday night stuff. Now, if he came on Friday night, it'd be great for me because I stay up on Friday if I'm not resting on Saturday.
Okay.
But we got to get up at 5. You got to be at work at 5 in the morning, brother. It's kind of hard setting up at 10, 11 o'clock watching wrestling.
Yeah, there's just one thing I wanted to ask you about from WrestleMania because you're known so much for being the first black tag team champions. Is I guess they had Braun Strowman and a 4th grader win the tag team titles. So basically a kid, one of the referee's sons, became WWE Tag Team Champions on WrestleMania. I'm not sure if you heard about that, but I'm just wondering what you think about that because that's something in your prime.
I wish I could tell you, but I didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably catch some of the stuff next week because I may go on the computer over the weekend and look at some of it on YouTube, but I didn't catch much of it. Because like I said, I flew back in, and as soon as I got back home, I had to go to work, and now I'm leaving out again to. I left out. I just got back into town from York, Pennsylvania, and now I'm on my way to Jamestown, New York, Friday. I'm going to Jamestown, and so then I got the week after that I got to go to Virginia Beach for Comic-Con there, and so just about every week. So when I get home and I'm with my students and the traveling, I've been very busy this year for some odd reason. I think because I'm one of the few legends that still get in the ring, or most of your legends, because I know Axe Demolition, he just retired from the ring last year.
And you're actually in better shape than most, like 90% or 95% of most independent wrestlers.
Well, see, they forgot the main part. They only looking at getting into the ring. They go and learn how to do the moves, buy themselves a pair of trunks, a pair of boots, and they forget the rest. When I first started, the promoter told us every year you want to make improvements. Every time the people see you, you want to be better the next time they see you than what you were today. So every time you show up, you want to be better than what you were before. And they say you want to try to maintain your image. Now you look at Ric Flair; he was never a muscle man, but he was always very, very fit. He was known for his fitness. Well, if you see Ric Flair now, he stayed very, very fit. You know, for a man, you know, a 70-year-old man, you know, he's very, very fit for 70.
Definitely.
You take Bruno Sammartino. That was Bruno Sammartino image. You know, Bruno Sammartino was the Italian, you know, Hercules. So when you meet him now today, even though he's pushing 80, he stayed in fantastic shape because that was his image. Now you got some guys that didn't keep up the image, kind of like Alvin Puskett. You know, he's not as big and strong as he used to be. My ex-tag team partner, Rocky Johnson, I don't think he trained very much anymore. I hadn't seen him without his shirt, but he only ran a sweatsuit when I saw him. But he put on some weight. You know, he's still he's in good health, but he's not in good shape anymore. So a lot of guys, when they wrap their career, started coming to the end, they don't see the need to do the training anymore.
Right. No, that's true. And you actually have a huge match.
It's like in other professions. You take like Aretha Franklin. You know, she was one of the best singers, you know, for a long time, a soul blues singer, you know, a soul singer. But then she got so heavy that she couldn't perform anymore. But then you look at another guy like Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
See, you see Mick Jagger today on stage, it's the same Mick Jagger you saw 30 years ago or 40 years ago.
That's true. He still looks as bad as he did then.
He knew he had to keep his image up if he wanted to stay in the performance. But can you imagine Mick Jagger weighing 250 pounds?
Yeah, no.
He wouldn't be able to perform, and nobody wanted to see him anymore. So he realized that he had to maintain his image. And when you look at Ron Summers is still in great shape.
Yeah.
You look at Animal. I'll tell you who was in fantastic shape that kept his image going for a lot of years, and that is Sting and Goldberg. I mean, Goldberg has probably got one of the best physiques around, his best condition in it. I mean, guys, if they got WWE is not in the shape that Goldberg is in. I mean, he's phenomenal.
No, that's definitely true.
This weekend past, I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin. Steve Austin is in better shape now than what he were when he was performing.
Wow, that's interesting. I haven't seen him, but that's very interesting.
That's what I'm saying. He's very interesting. And another two guys that look like Tito Santana is in great shape. You take what they call them, the Killer Bees.
Brian Blair.
Jim Bronzell and Brian Blair. I saw them last year in Florida, and they look the same as they did when they was wrestling.
Yeah, that's true. Now you have a match coming up.
Some of the guys kept themselves going, and then other guys kind of let themselves go because they feel they didn't need to do it no more.
That's true. Well, I'm glad that you keep yourself in shape because you're actually going to be wrestling another wrestler in Great North Wrestling May 25th in Pembroke. He's 6'6", 350 pounds. His name is Nathan Banner. He's from New Jersey, and he's coming up to Pembroke to wrestle you. I'm just wondering, what can fans expect from you if they come to see that? I know you're also going to be signing autographs, but what can they expect to see from you in the ring?
Well, regardless of my opponent is 6'7" or 4'6". When an athlete, when one athlete go against another one, I know he got youth and strength over me. I doubt if I'm as strong as he is now at my age now. But one thing I got going for me, not taking anything from him, but I know that I got something that he don't have, and that is experience in the ring. So I know how to make him use his weight against himself, and I know how to make him tire him out and use the ring to work against himself. So I have to rely more on my wrestling experience. You know, when I wrestle a young, powerful gentleman like that. Now 20 years ago, I would have matched him strength to strength. But now that I don't got, I work smarter in the ring and not harder now.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like when Muhammad Ali took and fought the young, strong. The best way to picture how this match is going to be, think about Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. George Foreman was younger, bigger, and stronger. And so the way Ali did, he outsmarted him. He used his ring experience against youth and strength.
That's true.
There was no way that Ali could match strength with George Foreman. But George Foreman didn't have the ring knowledge. So when you put the two factors together, it's a very evenly matched. It's an even match, and the match could go either way.
You met Muhammad Ali at one point, didn't you?
Yes, Muhammad Ali was in. He was making his comeback, and he was going to fight Ayatollah Onoki, and he would travel around the country, and they had a couple of wrestlers. I was fortunate enough to be one of them to teach him how to take bumps, just in case he fall down, he don't hurt himself.
Interesting.
So I thought he was a very, very interesting person. He was very nice, very, very nice. You know, very nice man, very, very classic. And the funny thing about it, when he was about himself, he was very quiet, very soft-spoken. We know we see him on TV, hollering and screaming and kind of. In real life, he's a very soft-spoken person, polite and very soft-spoken, like two different people.
What did he think of you as an athlete? Because I'm sure you were in your prime around the time that you met him. Did he say anything about how muscular?
Well, that's all he talked about, my body all the time. He thought I was the most. He told me, he said, I have never in my life seen anybody built like you. He said, never in his life he seen anybody look like me.
At one point, too, didn't you meet Arnold?
I used to eat a lot of junk food when I was young. And he said, how did you, I remember one thing he always asked me, how you keep that waist eating that junk food like you do? Because at 286 pounds, I had a 28-inch waist.
Which is incredible. That's unheard of.
And I had 23-inch arms, so my waist was only 5 inches bigger than my arm. When you look at pictures of me doing the double bicep, and you look at my waist and you look at my arm, they're almost the same size.
That's true.
And I had a 60-inch chest. I had 30-inch thighs. My thighs were 30 inches around, but the only part that didn't match was my calves. My calf was only 18 inches around, which is small for. They should have been about 21 or 22 to make my body look equal. And that's why I always look like I had smaller legs than what they were because I got a long, now the way my body is built, the longest part of my leg is from the knees down.
Yeah.
And most people, the femur bone is longer. My femur bone is shorter than the bone, the outer bone, which is kind of odd.
What do you think of all these bodybuilders today with the big bellies? Like they have their abs, but they have these gigantic.
All of us back in the day, we used steroids, but we would use steroids for competition only. They use the steroids to develop, so that's why they got the belly. That's all water retention. It's not muscle. They blow it up like you blow up a balloon.
Yeah, they don't look like athletes.
Right, it's not muscle. Plus, they got this synthetic stuff that you can pump into your muscle to make your muscle big. They didn't build the body. See, what we did, we built up first. And I'm on the old time and say, anybody that has not been working out for at least 3 to 5 years should not even use steroids.
That's very
And we
true.
did it only, right, we did it only on the doctor thing. And you're going to use steroids safely once every 6 weeks. 6 months. Once every 6 months is the only way you can use it safely. Because if you take them for 1 month, then it takes a month for them to clear your system after you stop. So that means you took them for 1 month, but you was after they was in your system for 2 months, even though you only took them for 1 month. So what you have to do, you have to lay off twice the amount of time that they was in your body in order for your body to work your normal function to kick back in, your testosterone level to stay normal. Because if you shut down, your body only produce what it needs. So if your body don't need testosterone, it won't produce it, which means your testicles are not working for 2 months. Now, if you stay on longer, your system don't work for about 4 or 5 months. Then by the time you do get off them, then your sperm count and everything will be at a very, very low rate. So you're going to set more harm than good. So anything you do, nothing you do in life is bad. What the bad part about anything we do is overindulging and abusing it. Just like you have 1 beer a night or 1 glass of wine a night, ain't going to hurt nothing. If you have 1 shot of liquor a night, you can have it every night. A glass of whiskey, ain't going to hurt you a bit. But if you drink a 6-pack every night, or a bottle of wine every night, or pint of whiskey every night, now you're getting in trouble. If you have 1 cigarette, 1 or 2 cigarettes a day, never going to hurt you. But if you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, so people have to learn boundaries. As long as you don't cross the boundaries, nothing in life will hurt you. Too much of anything is bad for you, no matter what it is.
Now, you met Arnold once, and didn't he try and recruit you for one of the Conan movies, and you just never called them back?
That's the one Will Chamberlain was in.
Do you regret that you didn't take his offer?
I regret it every day I live. What happened was I went to the club that I whipped this girl out party. Arnold gave me his card. He got a great role for me. He said they're looking for a wrestler because when the Merle, when they were fighting the Merle, is that monster that he fought. And Arnold wanted someone that knew how to wrestle so he could have a wrestling match with him. So he wanted to wrestle me in this movie. I was going to be this monster. We had these Merles where the monster hit the hand of the Merle. You had to break the Merles to get the monster.
Yeah.
You remember that section of the movie?
Oh, yeah, I remember it well.
Where Arnold, the thing that used to impress Arnold about me, he said in his whole career, he's never saw any man with my triceps. He said he's seen a lot of guys with big biceps, but he said he never saw any person that had a triceps like man's.
Wow.
Yeah, he used to call me triceps when he see me, because my tricep there hangs back. I don't know if you noticed.
No, I never noticed.
Yeah. Well, that what made my arm look so big, because I got these huge triceps. You look at all the pictures. You look at me doing a double bar. You look at my biceps, and you look right underneath my bicep. Look at all that tricep. My tricep is bigger than my bicep. That's why I was able to bench so much. That's why I had a 650 bench, because I had these powerful triceps, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why I was able to press these guys over my head, because I had these big, huge tricep muscles.
That's interesting. Well, anyone listening to this, I highly suggest that you search Tony Atlas's shoot interview with the Hannibal TV, and Friday night, May 25th, he's going to be in Pembroke. He hasn't been in this area of Canada for a very long time, and there's very special ticket prices. It's only going to be $5 for adults and $2 for kids 16 and under, and those tickets are available at the Pembroke Memorial Center, and more information can be found at GreatNorthWrestling.ca, and we're actually going to do a part 2 of Tony's shoot interview when he comes to Great North Wrestling in Pembroke. So I don't want to
And also, you can let them know that I'm going to be bringing some of my personalized artwork. I do artwork of John Cena, Undertaker, myself, Rocky Johnson, Natalie Neidhart, which is Jim Neidhart, our daughter. So I'm going to also be bringing prints of some of my artwork of other wrestlers that also will be there available for fans to purchase.
And I think you'll be selling 8x10s too, and
yeah, I have 8x10, and I will have prints of my artwork, and we'll be having a photo op, and all photo op come free with any purchase of a piece of art or 8x10 photograph. Then the photo op will come free.
Very good. And you have a Twitter where people can follow you. Do you want to remind people of where they can follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, you can go to the Real Atlas Twitter page. It's two out there, but the one that I get most of my information on is called the Real Atlas.
That's great. So again, fans, GreatNorthWrestling.ca has all the information on that huge May 25th event with Tony Atlas, and you'll never get a better deal than $5 for adults, $2 for kids 16 and under. So I highly suggest you make the trip out. Tony has a big challenge ahead of him. Quebecer Pierre, 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions, also going to be on that event. I'm going to be wrestling on that event, Hannibal. There's going to be 7 matches altogether, women's wrestling. And if Tony brings a pair of tennis shoes, or if my girlfriend can find a pair of tennis shoes, we might actually make a video of her walking on Tony.
There you go. You know, a lot of guys, you always say, Tony, why do you like women to walk? I don't know. I've been like that ever since I was a kid. You know what? Because I've been so dominant in everything I did, but when a woman walk on me, it keeps my balance. It give me that. It makes me feel submissive to that woman, which caused me to be not so cocky in the real world.
And also, there's a lot of people with a lot worse fetishes than that out there. That's it. That's fairly normal, and you're not harming anybody. The man's is harmless. Yeah, it's non-sexual, so that makes it harmless.
All
right. Well, I thank you very much. I know you're very busy.
Thank you, Hannibal, and I want to thank you for starting your program. Your program is a great asset to the wrestling business. A lot of people can't get personal information from wrestlers. There's a lot of wrestlers that people don't know the personal things about them. And because of a program like yourself, they're able to get the inside look at a wrestler thinking and the wrestler world directly from that wrestler. You don't change what a person says. You report exactly what the wrestler said, and you even let the wrestler talk so he can express himself. So you are a great asset. I wish the fans follow you more, and when they want the true information on what's going on in the wrestling world, Hannibal is the guy they come to see.
And to close this off, is there any message that you want to give to Nathan Banner, who probably is going to listen to this, who you're going to be wrestling May 25th in Pembroke? Is there anything you want to tell him before you step into the ring?
Tell him that I'm the tower of power, too sweet to be sour, often imitated but never duplicated. I'm broad at the shoulder, narrow at the hip. I don't care how big he is, he won't give me no lip. I was raised in a cage by old female land. No high-tone wrestler make me walk a straight line. If he see me coming, he better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. You tell him he's going to wrestle a man that got a 45 body built on a 38 frame. Shoot tombstone, ball and chain.
Thank you for listening to the Great North Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe to this podcast on iTunes and subscribe to the Hannibal TV on YouTube for all the latest GNW news and videos. Follow at Devin Hannibal on Twitter and check out our website at thehannibaltv.com.
Are you ready?
Great North
GreatNorthWrestling.ca returns to Brockville for Cage Wars 2.
Pro wrestling in an MMA cage.
Featuring the legendary Haku of WWE and WCW fame versus three-time Canadian champion Hannibal.
And title matches featuring three-time WWE Tag Champion Quebecer Pierre and former TNA Impact stars Wes Briscoe and Laurel Van Ness.
Advance tickets start at just $12 at ticketweb.ca and all score locations.